Hello everyone. Today we'll be discussing about a TCP connection. In the last class we had discussed about the TCP segments along with the features, services of the TCP. Today we'll be discussing the TCP connection. As we all know, TCP is a connection oriented protocol. Here, connection oriented transport protocol, this establishes a logical path between the source and the destination, and all of the segments belonging to a message are then sent over this logical path. So here TCP connection is always a logical. This uses the services of the internet protocol of the network layer to deliver individual segments to the receiver. Also, it controls the connection itself. If a segment is lost or corrupted, it is retransmitted. If a segment arrives out of order, TCP holds it until the missing segment arrives. This transmission requires 3 phases. So, here the first phase is said to be the connection establishment, and the second phase is said to be the data transfer, and the third is the connection termination. Here the TCP, that is Transmission Control Protocol, transmits the data in the full duplex mode. When two TCPs in two machines are connected, each party must initialize the communication and get approval from the other party before any data are transferred. So, first is the connection establishment phase, which is done using three-way handshaking. You can see in the figure here, the application program that is called the client wants to make a connection with the another application program called the server. Now, using TCP as a transport layer protocol, this has to be done. Here initially the process starts with the server. So server program tells the TCP that it is ready to accept a connection, and this is said to be the passive open request. You can see here it is written in red near the server. It is said to be passive open. Client program in return issues a request for an active open. Even you can see near the client it is an active open. Here we can see the timings here with these vertical lines. Now the client that wishes to connect to an open server tells its TCP to connect to a particular server. So three-way handshaking process starts. Here, as we have already seen the TCP segment, few fields of the TCP segments are only shown here, just like sequence number, acknowledgement number, and this is said to be the control field, which has got 6 controls, as you have already seen. So only those are shown, the other are not referred. So 3 steps are like this. You can see with the three-way handshaking. The first is the client sends the first segment, which is said to be the sync segment, SYN, in which only SYN flag is set for the synchronization of the sequence numbers. Next is ISN, which is said to be the initial sequence number, is sent by the client to the server, and this does not contain the acknowledgement number nor the receive window size, anything. It just contains only one sequence number is consumed here. It does not carry any data. So this does not contain acknowledgement as well as the window size. Now the second one. Here we can see that first one is with the sequence number now 8000, and S shows it is for the synchronization. Now the second one. Server sends a second segment, which is said to be sync plus ACK, which is said to be synchronization plus acknowledgement, with 2 flag bits set, that is sync and acknowledgement. This has dual purpose, that is SYN for communication in the other direction. Server uses this to initialize the sequence number. For numbering the bytes, sent from server to the client. The server also acknowledges the receipt of SYN from client by setting the acknowledgement flag and displaying the next sequence number it expects to receive from the client. Also, there is a round receiver window size which is said to be RWND. This also consumes one sequence number. So you can see that the sequence number is mentioned, acknowledgement number is mentioned, indicating that it is the next sequence number that the server expects and the receiver has to send. And then we have acknowledgement and the sync control fields are set here, and also receiver window size is specified as 5000. Next, third one, client sends the third segment, which is said to be a ACK, which is an acknowledgement segment. It acknowledges the receipt of the second segment with the acknowledgement flag and also the acknowledgement number field. So it will tell that already I have received a sequence number with 15,000. So next I'm waiting for 15,001. And also it gives an indication that as acknowledgement received in the previous segment was 8001, the sequence number of this third segment will be 8001 and receiver window size will be mentioned. So this is about the three-way handshaking process in the connection establishment. Here acknowledgement segment does not consume any sequence number if it is not carrying the data. In case if it carries the data, then the consumer then it will consume the sequence numbers as the number of data bytes. Then there is one security problem here which is said to be the sync flooding attack, which is SYN. When one or more malicious attackers send many sync segments SYN to the server and which pretend that each is coming from different clients, maybe by faking the source IP addresses in the datagram, then the server assumes that clients are issuing an active open and allocates the necessary resources, provides timers, all that. Then the TCP server sends sync plus acknowledgement to the fake clients which are lost. When the server waits for the third leg of the handshaking process, however, the resources are allocated without being used. If during this period, which is a short period of time, the sync segments which are sent are large, then the server runs out of the resources and may be unable to accept the request from the valid clients. So this is said to be the denial of service attack, in which attacker monopolizes the system with the service request. That system overloads and denies the service to the valid request. So it will not provide the services to the valid client. So it is said to be the flooding attack. Now, there are recent technologies where strategies to overcome this attack. What we have to do is we have to postpone the resource allocation until the server can verify that the connection request is coming from a valid IP address called a cookie. Next is about the data transfer. Now, with respect to the data transfer, you can see a figure here. After the connection establishment, the bidirectional data transfer takes place, where the client also sends the server also sends here. It is said to be bidirectional. Client and the server can send the data and acknowledgement in both the directions, and here the acknowledgement is combined along with the data, which is said to be piggybacking. So here the client sends, in this example you can see that the client sends around 2000 bytes of data in two segments. So it is divided as 8001 to 9000, then 9001 to 10,000. Here server sends 2000 bytes in one segment. Client sends one more segment. So these are the segments shown. So the first three segments carry both the data and the acknowledgement, and the last segment carries only the acknowledgement because no more data to be sent. Data segments sent by the client have a PSH. You can see there a push flag after a acknowledgement. There is a PSH flag, which is P flag is set. So server TCP know to deliver the data to the server process as soon as they are received. Next is about pushing the data. TCP uses buffer to store the stream of data. But in the occasions where immediate response is needed, delayed transmission and the delivery of data may not be acceptable by the application program. Here, application program at the sender requests a push operation. This means sending TCP must not wait for the window to be filled. Also, it sets push so that receiving TCP must deliver the data immediately. That is the need of involving the push. So, to use this feature is optional. Next is with respect to the urgent data. TCP is a stream oriented protocol where a data is presented from the application program to TCP as a stream of bytes. There are occasions in which the application program needs to send urgent bytes. Here the solution is we have to send a segment with the urgent bit set. Whenever it is the urgent data, and sending TCP inserts this urgent data at the beginning of the segment. Urgent pointer field will be used to define the end of the urgent data. For example, if the urgent pointer is 200 and the segment sequence is 15,000, then the urgent data is 15,000 till 15,200. So, if the segment sequence number is 15,000, urgent pointer is 200, so the urgent data will be from 15,000 till 15,200. That is about the urgent data. Next, we have the connection termination. As the connection establishment was done using the three-way handshaking, termination is also done using the three-way handshaking. Here, either of the two parties can close the connections. So, the first one, the client TCP, after it receives a close command from the client process, sends the first segment, which is said to be FIN, F-Y-N, in which FIN flag is set. And we can also see here is that FIN segment consumes one sequence number if it is not carrying the data. Okay. And second is the server TCP. After receiving the FIN, it informs its process of the situation and sends the second segment, which is FIN plus acknowledgement, to confirm the receipt of this FIN segment from the client, and at the same time to announce closing of the connection in the other direction. This segment can also contain the last chunk of data. If it is not carrying the data, even it consumes only one sequence number. Next is third one, the client TCP sends the last segment, which is called the acknowledgement segment, to confirm the receipt of the FIN segment from the server. This contains the acknowledgement number, which is 1 plus the sequence number received in the FIN segment from the server. This cannot carry data and consumes no sequence number. Next, let us see about the half close scenario. So here, in the case of the half close in TCP, what can be done is one end can stop sending the data while still receiving the data from the other end. So let us consider, after sending all the data to the server, the client can close the connections in client to server direction. When the data transfer from the client to server stops, the client half closes the connection by sending a FIN. Next, the server accepts the half close by sending an acknowledgement. Also, it sends the FIN segment after sending all the processed data. This is acknowledged by acknowledge from the client. This is about the half close. Next is about the connection reset. This is denies the connection request by using RST. This is said to be connection reset. Next, let us see about the state transition diagrams. Here, as we have already seen in the previous modules, whenever the protocols were discussed, we had also discussed about the state diagrams or finite state machines, which includes different events. So here in the finite state machines, which is this one here, the rounded corner rectangle indicates the states, and transition from one state to the another is shown by using the directed lines, and each line has got two strings separated by a slash. So one side is the input, other is the output. Input is the one which TCP receives, the output is the one which the TCP sends. Next, there are dotted black lines, which are dashed lines, which are transition that server normally goes through, and the solid lines are the transition that client normally goes through. That is what we have to know. So with respect to this, what we can see is that first, here we can see that the client process issues a active open command. So this figure, the state transition diagram, and also this figure, which is a timeline diagram, and also the transition diagram, which shows about the half close connections, are somewhat the same. So what is done here is, here the state transition diagrams, where we can see here, this is the state transition diagram. Whatever concepts we had told now will be applied here. Now let us see with respect to the transition diagram. Here you can see that the client process issues first active open command, which was already discussed. Client will be sending an active open command to its TCP to request a connection to a specific socket address. That means it is an input. TCP in turn sends a sync segment and it moves to the sync sent state. So this is a sync sent state. You can see the first figure, and first figure, wherever you have the first figure, to the other side, that means to the right side you have active open, which is the input. In return, TCP sends a sync, which is output from the TCP. It moves to the sync state from the close state. After receiving the sync plus acknowledgement segment, TCP sends an acknowledgement segment and goes to the established state. Datas are transferred here, possibly in bidirectional, and acknowledged. When the client has no more data to send, then it sends active close command, and the TCP sends a fin segment and goes to the fin wait 1 state. And also when it receives a acknowledgement segment, it goes to the fin wait 2 state. When the client receives a fin segment, it sends an acknowledgement segment and goes to the time wait state. Now, when the corresponding timer expires, the client goes to the close state. Similarly, with respect to the server, one more figure. Server also issues a passive open command. Server TCP goes to the listen state. You can see in the figure here, to the left side, it is a listen state. Remains there until it receives a sync segment. TCP then sends a sync plus acknowledgement segment, goes to the sync receive state, waiting for the client to send acknowledgement. After receiving the acknowledgement segment, TCP goes to the established state where the data transfer takes place, and TCP remains in this until it receives a fin segment from the client indicating no more data, and the connection can be closed. The server, upon receiving the fin, sends all the queued data to the server, which means that the connection must be closed, and then sends an acknowledgement segment and goes to the close wait state, but postpone the acknowledging fin segment received from the client until it receives a passive close command. After receiving the passive close, server sends a fin segment and goes to the last acknowledged state, waiting for the final acknowledgement. When the acknowledgement segment is received, server goes to the closed state. So this is about the transition diagram. The same thing we can see in the earlier figure also here. Sync, then sync plus acknowledgement, then the acknowledgement, which is initially. Then we have which will be in the connection establishment state. Then we have the data transfer state, where the data will be transferred. Then we have the fin wait 1, then we have the data transfer acknowledgement, then we have the fin and the acknowledgement, then it is closed. The same thing was explained earlier. Next is with respect to the next topic is about the windows. So before discussing the next topics with respect to the TCP flow control or TCP error control or TCP congestion control, which are the three very important topics which will be covered in the next classes, we describe windows. Here the TCP uses two windows. One is said to be the send window and the other is said to be the receive window, which is for the bidirectional transfer. We require altogether 4 windows. So here for flow, error as well as congestion control, we need 4 windows for bidirectional communication, and this can be inferred using 2 unidirectional communication with piggybacking. Consider the send window. Here you can see that there is SF, SN and also send window size. Already we had studied windows in the earlier topics, which is selective repeat protocol, go back in protocol. There the window, the concept was explained with respect to the windows. So here the first outstanding byte is said to be SF, which means the data is sent here but not acknowledged, and SN tells that it is the next byte to send, which is inside the window, which is inside the usable window, and then outside the window to prior, which is ahead, is bytes that are acknowledged, and the behind ones are the bytes that cannot be sent until the window slides. And always the window slides like from left wall closes and it moves to the right wall. That is how the window gets open. Now the difference between the send window in the selective repeat and TCP is that one is the window size in the selective repeat protocol is the number of packets. Here it is in terms of number of bytes. Second one is TCP can store the data, and also we assume the sending TCP is capable of sending the data as soon as it receives from the process. And the third one is selective repeat uses several timers for each packet sent, but the TCP uses only one timer. Next is with respect to the receive window. We can see in the diagram here, the receive window also here, we can see that 201 here, which is the next byte to be pulled by the process. Here Rn tells that it is the next byte expected to be received, and this is said to be the receive window here. Which are outside here is the bytes that have already been pulled. Second is bytes received and acknowledged, waiting to be consumed by the process. And the third is bytes that can be received from the sender. And the last is bytes that cannot be received from the sender. Here the differences are that TCP allows the receiving process to pull the data at their own pace, and the receiving window is calculated as RWND, which is equal to buffer size minus the number of waiting bytes to be pulled. So it is the buffer size minus, you can see in the figure here, the receive window size is the buffer size minus number of the bytes to be pulled, which will give you the receive window size, which is RWND. So here the part of the buffer at the receiver is occupied by the bytes that have been received and the acknowledgement but are waiting to be pulled by the receiving process. Second is the difference between the selective repeat and the TCP is that here the part of the buffer be occupied by the bytes that have been received and acknowledged but waiting to be pulled. That was not in the selective repeat. And also here acknowledgement in the selective repeat is selective defining the packets that have been received. Here in this case in TCP, the acknowledgements are cumulative, just like as we have seen in the Go Backend protocol, they are cumulative. That is what is about the receive window. So here the cumulative can be like which will announce the next expected byte to receive, and it can combine two acknowledgements if one is lost. All that can be done. So let us see one example here. It is just like this for you to know what is the value of RWND for a host A if the receiver host B has a buffer size of 5000 bytes and 1000 bytes of received and unprocessed data. Here you can see that, as I have told you in the earlier slide, the receive window is calculated as buffer size minus the number of waiting bytes to be pulled. So buffer size is given here as 5000 and the bytes which are waiting to be pulled is 1000. So the value of RWND is 4000. So the host B can receive only 4000 bytes of data before overflowing the buffer. Host B advertises this value in its next segment to A. So in the next class, we'll be discussing about the flow control and the error control, followed by the next class, the congestion control. So remember about the window concept properly to understand the further concepts, because all the three concepts will be using the window concepts of send window as well as receive window. Also how it slides, what is SF, what is SN, how do we calculate RWND, and what is the difference with respect to the selective repeat protocol and that of the TCP. And also we had discussed about the state transition diagrams, and also very important is TCP connection establishment phase, so which is using a three-way handshaking establishment, data transfer and the termination. So this is a very important, usually you get a question in the VTU exam with respect to the TCP connection. So with respect to those timeline diagrams, remember those figures, and also about the finite state transition machines, so FSMs, and also the windows. Window concept is needed to understand the next concepts which will be discussed, yet to be discussed in the next coming classes: flow control, error control and the congestion control. Thank you.